You got the microphone.
Oh, goodness. Okay, I'm not very good at this. Haven't done it before, so it goes okay. So we're looking at the site, a site out on the Motueka Delta. Probably if we go on to the next slide. Yeah. Just to give a bit of context of where we're looking. Maybe if I come over here, there's this area through here. It's bound by stopbanks. So the Motueka River in the distance there, the bridge. Okay, so this area was flagged by DOC. Well, it actually is in DOC ownership mainly, and in 2019, Roger Gaskell, he sort of made a suggestion that this area was coming up to the end of its grazing lease, and suggested that it would be very good to cease this, to see if there was community support to cease the grazing lease and find a way to encourage a restoration project on this land. So we had a look around to see who was in support. Could you go on? And it became pretty obvious quite quickly that there was a lot of interest and a lot of support around the whole community. It's Department of Conservation land, but it also has private ownership in there. The iwi has the whole delta area is of significance to both Te Atiawa and Ngāti Rāroa. Tasman District Council's got a slice through there that there's a paper road, and there's a hydrology parcel which is under Lynn's jurisdiction. Some conversation came about with Motueka, which is the Motueka Technology Centre, which is based at Parkland School, and they're quite interested in being involved with the children, coming and being involved with the project that is linking them to the river and close to home. Birds New Zealand came through and had a good look with David Melville, and he also Emma Williams, and I can't find the name of the other guy, Department of Conservation experts. They both could, all could see that this area had really good potential for marsh bird habitat restoration. It's got there, yep. Okay, so this is just a few of the goals that we can see that are relevant. Now we can probably flip through if I'm trying to go through in 5 minutes. This is just a bit of a picture of the site and how much land there is. So you can see that the DOC land that we're talking about there is about 3.2 hectares, and there's also the TDC paper road. Those are the areas that we're looking at the moment, but hopefully in the future it can be a bigger project, which could be up to 6.1 hectares. Okay. So a bit of historical context. So the first picture there on the left is the Delta in 1842, just showing the river and its flow paths in a more natural state. Then through into the 1940s, you can see that the river there, the area that we're talking about is it's still connected to the river at that point, although there's been some changes in land use with farming and deforestation. then going, so sometime 1950s, the stock banks were established, and in the site that we're looking at, there's two stock banks. One is on the riverside, and then there's also one that is along the other edge, and they've got different roles. One's to inhibit the flow from the river going into the farmland, and the other one is to decrease the salt water inundation from the tidal side of the wetland. Yeah. Okay, so this is just a bit of a rundown of what we've been doing. So Mike, Harvey and I have been doing a bit of monitoring on the site. We've been out there since December 2020 and have been collecting some data on just to establish an understanding of what's happening on the wetland and an idea of how it functions. It's a very constructed site. It's not so natural anymore. As you can see, the stock banks around it, and if you look at this LiDAR picture, which is showing the elevations, the green is the low elevations, and the grading up through to the red, which is higher elevations. So each of the blue spots is one of our monitoring sites. That's probably enough. Yeah. So we have established 6 wells, monitoring wells, which basically just put an auger into the ground, and we've got some pipe from Hayes Plumbing that they donated, and that gave us some sites to monitor the groundwater. So there's 6 groundwater, and then there's 3 staff gauges, which is what you can see up there on the right hand side of the slide. So they're just measuring the height of the water in different tidal ranges. And then we have also had a look at some soil permeability. That's the slide, the picture down on the bottom right. So all of this technology was very simple, and it was really cheap. So that was one of the points we thought was really important to share today, was actually that you can learn quite a lot with really simple equipment and a bit of time. Yep. So this is a broad overview of the hydrology of the system. So we've got the river, and then the tide coming in from the bay, and also the groundwater coming through. What we've found over the time that we've been doing this work is that it's very much a groundwater driven system. And there's a few pictures. So this first picture here on the left hand side is right up the very top end of the site, which is closest to the river, but the water that we can see at the top end there is salt water. So it's come right out of the top of the channel and pushes out into the top end of the site. So that's it's been quite a key piece that we've learnt, that the tidal influence is right up through the site. In the middle, before the last slide, there was a spring that we, so when there's been some heavy rain, the site has some springs coming up through it. It's very exciting. Really cool to see. And then the other picture was of the Motueka River in flood last year in July 17. So this is just, this next slide here is just basically showing some of the information that we've been able to pull out from the monitoring that we've been doing. So this is the depths and some of the monitoring wells down through the centre of the site to the groundwater table. So you can see that we've got an average each month over the year. So it's really informative, really great information for the future restoration of the site, for choice of plants, but also for understanding of where we can excavate to increase the water or wet areas for the different habitats we're after. This is a key part of the site. It's a tidal flat gate that is down by the close to the tidal inlet. This is a picture of what would happen if the flat gate was removed or failed. It's just showing how much salt water would come into the site. So all of those red areas there would be inundated with salt water. And of course, the orchards and farmers around would probably prefer that didn't happen. So at the moment, that's what we're aiming to maintain. Yep. We had a very exciting day recently with Helen Forsey. Yeah. We've been very hopeful that it was an Inanga sporting site, and there's some evidence we found some, so that's pretty cool. And the little graph off to the side is showing the profile of the site and where the water comes to on a 4 metre tide, which is quite a high tidal range, and that's exactly where we found the Inanga. So yeah. So we've also built a whole lot of knowledge on the site with help from all sorts of websites. So I just thought it was good to share those with you. The TDC website, it's got great information on river flow, groundwater monitoring wells. Just we've pulled in all of these pieces into growing our understanding of the site. Also the integrated catchment management that Joe was talking about before, it's got fantastic information. Yeah. So these are just, we can just flick through these because they're basically just showing information we've pulled off from those sites. That's it's the groundwater model. Yep. This is a picture of what's the projections of sea level rise in that site. And yeah, a bit of an idea of the potential planting or restoration of the site. So we've basically looked at the site and got an understanding of all the different soils, the salt water, also the land elevations, and considered what's going on in each of those areas and what would be the appropriate planting for each of those zones. So that's just what it's showing. Just thought that it's a bit of an inspiration from Pearl Creek. It's Timber Grove in the middle there. So that these pictures are all taken in the same area over a period of time. I'm not quite sure of the period of time, Roger, you might know. No. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. So today's delta is not what it was yesterday. It's been highly modified. It's been great to have enough time to collect some good data. And this project has got funding, so it's been funded through TDC, the Freshwater Improvement Fund. So we're looking to begin work on the Delta in 2023. So we'll be looking for support and within our community. So, yeah. We're done?
We're done.